So Disney legally requires itself to put pants in a cartoon duck. Hello, and welcome to Science Fiction Double Feature Podcast, Podcast 53. Podcast goes bananas. This is my co-host Terry. Say hello, Terry.
Hello, Terry.
How are you this week?
A little disappointed. I was hoping we'd have some really cool Planet of the Apes news to talk about, but alas, there's not.
You'll have to just go unaided. That's going to be.
I will.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well,
I'll hope there might be a bit more next week because they're doing a live Q&A at Madison Square Garden as we speak. So okay. They're live and we're live. I've got a weird feeling we're sharing a moment. Except
we should try and do a crossover. Do you want to try and patch us through?
Yeah, I'll just work on that on my laptop here. I'm sure I'll break Madison Square Garden's like Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Okay. Well, while you're doing that, what we normally do on the podcast is talk about movies. So we're going to talk about some movie news, movie trailers, movies we've seen, and movies that are coming out. So let's do just that. Have you got some news?
I do. Well, it's not really news. It's more nothing really than news. There's been a big question for a long time whether if Dracula Untold will be a part of the Universal Monsters movie. Is that the movie that's going to kick it all off? And when they first made it, it wasn't. It was just going to be its own movie. But then they went, hey, this might actually work. So they did some reshoots so they could tie it in. And a producer on the red carpet actually said, yes, we are kicking off the franchise. And then it didn't do so well. So it was always a bit up in the air if it actually is or isn't. And Bloody Disgusting has spoken to Luc Evans, who played Dracula in it, and asked what's going on. Are you coming back as Dracula and whatnot? Because we haven't heard anything about casting for Dracula in any of the movies that they've got coming up. And he pretty much said they've had conversations. So they've had some nice social conversations. Nothing's written in stone. So it kind of gets me thinking, okay, yes, if they are still talking to him about it, then they must be going to bring him back for it. So that's exciting because I was probably one of the few people who did like Dracula Untold. I thought it was pretty cool. And I like Charles Dance in it. And I like seeing Charles Dance. So yes, I'm excited for Luc Evans to come back. I didn't think he did a terrible job as Dracula. I think the story was a little bit off, and I didn't like the add-on they did at the end where they brought him into the modern day, because that was the reshoot they did to try and bring it into the new Monsters universe they're starting, where he's just sitting at a cafe in Paris or somewhere. So yeah, it's a bit of a nothing news. It's just pretty much let's refresh our memories that this movie happened and he could be coming back for it. That's what this is.
Pretty much. Luc Evans, still a thing.
Yeah. But he kind of doesn't even fit with the rest of the cast. Like, Luc Evans is not a household name as Johnny Depp is, or Tom Cruise is, or Russell Crowe. Not a lot of... If you go, like, to a random house, they wouldn't... If you said, oh, do you know who Luc Evans is? The chances of them knowing him are pretty slim, I think.
Yeah, that's fairly common, though, isn't it? Like, not everyone in a big car, unless it's a deliberate ensemble of the kind we will get to. Isn't that quite common that it's usually a mix of people? I mean, no one really... I mean, Marvel, before the MCU became its own thing, did anyone really know who Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth and other Chris's were, really? Like,
I think Marvel's a different thing entirely, because they never went after the big names to start with. Like, yeah, they had Robert Downey Jr., but he wasn't a huge name at that stage. He was on his downfall, and they picked him back up. And so I don't think they really went after like huge names as like the Monsters universe has. So they've got their fame off the MCU, whereas the Universal is going after already major stars. So,
Okay.
hmm.
Well, I don't know. I'm not excited. I didn't like this movie at all, so I don't care. I didn't like the first one, so I don't care about the second one. And I
You
don't
don't.
really care if it's part of a franchise.
Oh well. Well. In saying I liked it, I still haven't revisited it. I haven't
No.
watched it since I have at the movie, so it mustn't be that great. But I do remember enjoying it for what it was.
Fair enough.
Hmm. I think that's all the news I got.
Okay, I got a bunch of stuff here. So just this morning, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, which is Luc Besson's new film, coming out in 2017, I believe, or 2018, 2017. We found out a bit about it at Comic-Con, but we've had a few images released. We've had some more today. Again, just sort of featuring Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne in some moody-looking shots. There's quite a lot of washed-out blue images of people in armor here. There's a poster with a cool spaceship. I mean, yeah, that's cool. There's two others, however, that are kind of interesting. One is some cool creatures. There's like some these look very familiar to me. I'm sure I've seen these before in something, this kind of image. We have three gargoyle-looking creatures, sort of looking quite impish, as if they're in the middle of a scheme. They look very familiar. I don't know where I've seen this imagery before, probably in some of the Valerian comic frames that I've seen around the place. I haven't read it myself, but I mean, it's a hugely influential thing, so I'm sure this image has appeared somewhere in something for some reason. So there's going to be some cool creatures. That's exciting, which I think we were promised. Apparently, this takes place in some amazing multicultural space station. There's also is this a poster? No, it's just an image. There's a kind of weird image of Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne, not in their usual space armor, but just in kind of beachwear. So I don't know what the deal with that is. Do they go to the beach? I guess they do. Is it a Valerian beach party? I don't
That'd
know.
be fun.
Yeah, Dane DeHaan is clasping some sort of MacGuffin. It seems like there's a space disaster coming for them, but they're kind of, just in hanging out clothes. Like, did they go on holiday? Are they undercover? What is going on here?
He has also scraped his knee.
He scraped his knee.
Yeah.
He has, and they've got like things on their neck, which I think are
Yeah.
like space implants for some reason. I don't really know the mythology of Valerian, but I'm guessing it's some sort of like translator thing or tracker thing, or how they inject the cool drugs that keep them alive. I don't know. So there's that going on. It's genuinely difficult to tell whether this is supposed to be like contemporary 21st century clothing, when I thought this took place in the future, or if it's like future leisure wear. That's, as always, is kind of modern clothes, but with a spacey twist.
Or maybe it's a theme party and it's like, come as your favorite 90s person.
Oh, maybe it is. Yeah. Come as
90s
this
theme party.
ridiculous human. Yeah. It looks kind of fun. Yeah, I'm still excited for a giant Luc Besson space movie. So, again, I don't think this doesn't show us what Luc Besson, we know Luc Besson is capable of visually. It's, I mean, in a way, the thing that this is going to have to, the worst enemy of this is the Fifth Element, which looks so amazing and is so iconic, and it's going to have to live up to that visual design and amazingness and just creativity. And so far, it's Dane DeHaan in armor, which is not that exciting. But there's some cool space things, and maybe they have a beach party. So, hells yeah. I'm excited for Valerian. Are you?
Yeah, I like the that poster with the spaceship in there. I think that's pretty cool looking. And I think I know where you've seen these creatures before.
Oh,
I think it's the duck pond. They look like ducks. Weird
uh,
duck.
They do kind of have beaks, but no, I don't go to the duck pond because I don't like ducks.
Oh,
So me and ducks are kind of, we don't get on. I'm not in favor of ducks.
these are really weird looking creatures. They've got like wings or something.
Yeah, they look like gargoyles.
And they got weird hair, like sporadic hair on their head, like they're going bald. We've got the receding hairline.
I know,
But
it's cool.
they got some very old eyes. They're very wise creatures, I think.
Maybe they know Mez Canada. Who knows?
Well, they could be neighbors. And yeah, I don't that image of them in their 90s wear, with his Hawaiian shirt on, it kind of threw me when I was looking through these. I went, well, that's random.
It is. It's so. What is it? They're like. There's like a big space structure behind them. What is going on here? Don't know.
No, the images look really cool. So
They do.
I want to see it. It looks really good.
Yes. Let's see Valerian. All right. Cool. Okay. What else is coming out? This might be a terrible movie, but it might be amazing.
Might.
Well, I don't know. There's potential here for something really interesting. Christopher Walken, who you may remember from such films as The Jungle Book and The Deer Hunter, and like that Fast Forward movie with the remote from Adam Sandler, and the original McBain, in which he shoots down a fighter plane with a handgun. Is joining Robert De Niro, also of The Deer Hunter, and lately Dirty Grandpa. What? And in another Grandpa-themed movie called The War on Grandpa, about a kid who wages war on his grandpa for, I don't know why you would do that. That's awful. Grandpas give you sausages, as I learned from the kid on the train the other day. So yes, there's some sort of awful child who I think wants to. So it centers on a boy who reluctantly gives up his bedroom for his widowed grandfather, but tries to run him out with a series of pranks. So it's about an awful child, and then Christopher Walken and Robert De Niro are playing best friends, who presumably one is the grandpa. I don't know which one.
Which one's the kid?
No, this is the thing. I want to see Christopher Walken and Robert De Niro team up to fight a child. That sounds amazing. That sounds like that's the best idea for a movie ever. Like these guys who play mobsters and hard men and scary people fighting a child. That sounds amazing. It's not going to live up to that at all, and yet I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see Christopher Walken fight the baby. That sounds fantastic. I'm guessing you don't want to see The War on Grandpa because maybe it's not about two old men fighting a child.
Actually, that sounds a lot better than I was thinking. But yeah, it kind of has this Dennis the Menace sort of vibe to it, which can be fun. But I just like how they've got these two big names, Christopher Walken and Robert De Niro, in The War on Grandpa. And I was reading it, and I was just thinking, okay, Christopher Walken's obviously Grandpa. I really hope Robert De Niro plays the kid. Have this old man play the child, but have his parents like our age, in 30s or whatever. But don't explain it. Just explain, okay, he's the kid. And him acting like a kid and setting up all these pranks and stuff with his marbles and whatnot. And Christopher Walken walking on him and scooting and falling over on the marbles, very Home Alone style.
It does sound like Dennis the Menace or Home Alone, but the kid sounds horrible.
Both those children were horrible.
Yeah,
Home Alone and Dennis the Menace, but they were both horrible kids.
No, they kind of I don't know, we kind of sympathize with them, I guess. This kid doesn't. He's fine. Kevin McAllister was defending his home in accordance with the Second Amendment.
Well, what 8-year-old knows how plans all these elaborate booby traps? Really?
Oh, he's a maniac. In the cold light of day, he's a maniac. But in the world of the film, he kind of makes sense. And I think Dennis the Menace just wanted love or something. I don't know what that movie was about. But this, he sounds like a totally horrible child, like no redeeming features whatsoever, and therefore I hope Christopher Walken murders him.
Well, I'd like the tagline or something to be, how far would you go to get your race car bed back?
Oh, so maybe the kid is the guy. Robert De Niro is going to sleep in a race car bed. That's going to be amazing. I hope there's a scene in which he like drives it out of the house and runs the kid down. I don't care how it works. I hope there's like a montage scene where they turn it into an actual race car, and then, or maybe it like they fit it with wheels and stuff, and it ejects the kid out of his room. Oh man, yeah. So yes, the War in Grand Park can't possibly live up to what we want it to be, but it's definitely a movie. Okay, all right, so let's move on from that. Remember a while back when we talked about the all-female Ocean's 11 spin-off, which was called at the time Ocean's Ocho, which is a terrible name for a movie. There's more. It's confirmed. For one thing, they've changed the name to Ocean's 8, which sounds much better. And yes, we've got some confirmed cast. So this is exciting. We've got Sandra Bullock, Kate Blanchett, Sarah Paulson, Rihanna, Anne Hathaway, Helena Bonham Carter, Mindy Kaling, and Awkwafina. So I like I like all of those people except Awkwafina, who I'm not that familiar with, but I did Google her and she sounds fantastic. So yes, Kate Blanchett's off on a heist. Rihanna's on a heist. It's a heist movie starring cool people doing cool stuff. I'm excited for Ocean's 8. Yeah, I want to see Ocean's 8 because this cast sounds amazing. I like who am I most? Who do we think? Do we have opinions on who's going to be doing what in the film?
No.
Okay, I'm guessing Sandra Bullock is the boss.
Oh yeah, she's daddy.
Scheme master. Okay, I think Kate Blanchett is the money. I think Awkwafina is going to be the hacker. Who else do we got here? Maybe Helena Bonham Carter is going to be like the impish safecracker, who's like an old hand. What else we got? Rihanna. I think Mindy Kaling is going to be the honey trap. I don't know. Anne Hathaway, I feel maybe Anne Hathaway is going to be like the Brad Pitt. No.
Or the Matt Damon.
Yeah, the Matt. Well, no, was he? No. Brad Pitt was Matt Damon was the pickpocket.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes, I'm excited for this because it's got fun people and it's going to be a cool heist movie, and I like cool heist movies and fun people. Yes. So I'm excited for Ocean's 8. It's going to get released in the summer of 2018. So yes, I'm looking out for that. I think it's going to be fun. All right. Yes, lastly, and this is very minor news, we do have a title for the new Blade Runner film that we keep talking about. The Blade Runner sequel is going to be called 2014 Blade Runner 2049 because it takes place 30 years after the original Blade Runner in 2019. Only a few years away. So, it sounds fine. I mean, that doesn't tell us much about what's going on that we didn't already know, but that's okay. Not all titles do. We've got a promotional image released, but it's just kind of famous people hanging out and listening to Harrison Ford. So, pointing at Ridley Scott. He's just, this guy stole my pasta. That's, again, it's not that exciting. It's just kind of a promotional image of famous people. It doesn't tell us much about the movie itself. Cool. So that's Blade Runner. Did you have anything particular to say on the subject of Blade Runner 2049?
Not really.
Yes.
I haven't seen Blade Runner 2 to 2048 yet.
Yes, we've got to get through that other 2,000 odd films in order to see Blade Runner 2049.
I know,
it's a heck of a run. At one point they go to a circus planet. My God.
It should be on Netflix for me, just a binge.
Yes, the Blade Runner series. Blade Runner, Back in Time, Blade Runner, Planet of the Nazis. I don't know. I hate these guys. Okay. So is that all the news this week? I think it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the news.
Okay, let's just talk about some trailers.
Wait. I do have some news. I just remembered. Mulan is getting a live action Disney thing. And
you
know how they're doing it. And I think that might be really interesting because it's not going to be, because I've only seen it a couple of times. It's not one I'm really familiar with, but it's I think it could be quite an epic adventure. I think it's done really well, actually.
I hope she murders a bunch of people again. I like that about the first one. She straight up murders the whole army. It's amazing.
It is Disney, so if she does murder them, they will come back to life for the sequel.
Oh, yeah. No, will they? I don't think they will. Oh, yeah, that's right. Jafar returned. Ugh. Never mind.
Returns.
Scar return? I thought Scar was pretty dead.
Yeah, you didn't see him get killed.
You saw the shadow
silhouette.
on the wall. It was pretty brutal. He got attacked by, Cheech Marin and Whoopi Goldberg.
Well, maybe that's how they'll get away with it. They'll show her stabbing people in a silhouette.
Oh, it's amazing though. She blows up what does she do? She fires a rocket into the snow and starts an avalanche that just wipes out the whole army. It's fantastic.
So this is why I think it could be a little bit different from what they've been doing, like the Princess movies and Jungle Book and that, because it's quite an epic adventure. So yeah, I think that one you might be able to get on board with.
No, I don't care. I've seen the first one.
So?
Yeah, no, I don't need to see it again.
Oh, okay. But you've seen Blade Runner, the first one.
Yeah, but this is a sequel. It's not the same story again, but with more famous people.
Well, it's not the same. They might change it up. They changed up other things.
I don't care.
All right, let's move on to trailers then.
All right, so first one from Blade Runner 2049, Death Race 2050 is one more. Roger Corman. So back in, I think 1979, Roger Corman, the famous maker of low-budget films, and apparently quite a good Edgar Allan Poe anthology or some such, is producing Death Race 2050, a sequel to his original Death Race 2000, which is the inspiration for the Death Race series of movies, but is quite different, a lot less tame. So Death Race was about a race across America in the vein of the Cannonball Run, except you got points for just killing pedestrians. I think and then they made a video game adaptation that was the subject of one of the first video game violence outcries, because it was incredibly primitive, but it was about running over pedestrians. So yes, Death Race 2050 is a sequel with a lot of low budget CGI that you might expect from the Sci-Fi Channel, and Malcolm McDowell. Yes, it seems like it's retreading a lot of the material and moments from Death Race 2000. You've got them driving through the hospital again. There's a character called Frankenstein again. It seems to be retreading the ground, just with less good-looking effects. So that's Death Race 2050. I just wanted to mention it because it was one more than Blade Runner 2049. What did you think of Death Race 2050?
I think it should be titled Wacky Wheels live action.
Wacky Wheels.
They should have Dick Dastardly in there. It looked great.
Wacky Wheels, the gritty reboot.
I'd be happy if they branded it with like a Wacky Wheels and had Dick Dastardly and Muttley in there.
Have you seen the original? You haven't seen Death Race 2000 with Sylvester Stallone and...
No, I've seen the 2008 one with Jason Statham. Yeah. But no, I haven't seen the original one. So yeah, this looks silly.
It is silly. I like the cars that explode.
I was quite on board. It started off really strong, the trailer. I thought, I can really get behind this, and then it just went really silly. So I was less interested then. But yeah, I reckon they should have branded it Wacky Wheels.
Wacky Wheels. The gritty reboot. All right. Cool. Have you got other trailers to talk about? I've got
I got
another one I want to
trailers.
come to at the end. Yeah.
Oh, all right, I'll do my 2 trailers then. The Monster. It's a I don't know. It's a film. It's a film about this woman who's driving along with her daughter, and she hits a dog and has a bigger car accident. And they go out and see if the dog's all right. And there's a big giant tooth in it, like a fang nearly. Oh, pretty cool. And then this monster starts like creeping up on him and stuff. It looks really, really cool. Cool horror. Very, very closed in set. It just looks like it's set in the forest or in the car area. I'm so on board for this. I was very excited by it. And the monster, you don't really get to see it too much, but you see it kind of over a shoulder, and there's like the rain dripping off it, and it just reminded me of like the xenomorph in Aliens. So maybe are they going to do a Blair Witch thing, and a week before it comes out, call it Alien 4000? I don't know. But
Zoe
no,
Kazan versus Predator.
That's right. Yeah, I want to see this. It looks really, really good. There's no release dates or anything. It looks like it's going like straight to internet and whatnot. Yeah, so I don't know when we'll be able to see it. Yeah, it's playing at a couple of film festivals and going straight to the internet like this week. So hopefully we get to see it soon. Maybe next week we'll pick it up.
Okay.
I really like the look of it. I love the poster. If you go to IMDb, the poster's really cool. What do you think of the monster?
It was again one of those horror trailers that kind of showed me too much of the monster and some of the things the monster does. I don't know. I might check it out. I'm kind of interested in what Zoe Kazan is doing for some reason. It's also got who's this guy? Aaron Douglas, who you may know is Chief Tyrrell from Battlestar Galactica, and so I'll watch that. I like that guy. But yeah, I like a lot of horror trailers. It kind of showed me a little bit too much of the monster.
I like how like on IMDb the monster is cast as Chris Webb.
Chris Webb.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so he's like
Maybe
a stuntman. So it's all like practical stuff. Well, majority, I assume.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see that, to see what a man in a suit brings to it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it does show us one of the deaths, and there's not many people cast in this. So again, it's just a trailer that shows us a little bit too much. It looks, I don't know.
But really, it's only got a few people in it, and it's called The Monster. You don't expect everybody to come out alive.
No, but I want to be surprised by how things happen. Potentially surprised. I can't be.
Sorry, I was having a drink of coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still excited. It looks really, really good.
Okay.
And my other one is another horror movie. It's called Get Out. It's from Key and Peele, they're comedy people.
Yes.
Well, Jordan Peele is actually the writer-director of this, which is interesting because he's not known for horror. He's known for laughs. So yeah, this one looks really, really cool. And so this chick takes her boyfriend, who is black, back to her to meet the parents, and she's white. So it's the interracial thing, and it's got a very racist tone to it. And it looks really, really cool about how, I don't know, how they're approaching the subject of racism in like Southern America and that. Bradley Whitford in this looks amazing. I can't wait to see him. And yeah, I have no idea what's going on. It starts off pretty standard, and then some freaky things happen. Like, what the hell's going on in this trailer? What's going on in the movie? Watch the trailer. You know what I mean. You'll know what I mean when I say that. Yeah, so watch the trailer for Get Out. What do you think of the trailer, Tim? Did you want to see this?
I thought this looked amazing. Yeah, I really want to see this. It looks really good. It does seem like they're taking the premise of, I don't know if they're technically in the South, but it does feel quite segregated, like in a throwback. They're in a part of America that hasn't really moved on really from segregation. But yes, with some sort of otherworldly element to it, which could indeed just be an effect of the trailer. Like, I would not be surprised if this then turned out to have absolutely no supernatural element to it somehow. Yeah, it looks really good. It looks like a really good and relevant thriller that, yeah, I wouldn't have expected from Jordan Peele. I'm quite glad that he's capable of making so many different types of things. This looks fantastic. Yeah, I'm really excited to see this. Bradley Whitford does look really good as an old man in a beard. It doesn't explain it very well, but it does look very, very good. I was going to check. Give me 1 second here. I was going to check if one of the cast was someone, but I don't think it is.
Well, while you check, at
Yeah.
the start of the trailer, that thing leaps across the road and causes the accident at the start. Or they
Yeah.
stop anyway. I don't know if it actually causes an accident. What the hell was that?
It's like a deer, but it's a deer. I think you see it later, but it does look like it leaps into their path.
It's very high up if it's a deer.
Yeah, and maybe that's the thing. Like, oh, it's just a deer, but is it a deer? So I don't know.
Okay.
I think we need to find out. Yes, but this movie looks real good. It looks really amazing.
Was that person the person you thought it was?
No, it wasn't.
No.
I thought it's Catherine Keener. It appears to be the mum, the mum of. So the main character is Keith Stanfield. His girlfriend is Rose, is Alison Williams, and then her mum is Catherine Keener, who I thought was Mary McDonnell, but wasn't.
Fantastic.
So yeah, this just looks really good and really unnerving. It looks fantastic.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get to see that at the start of next year. It's out in the US in February, so hopefully it won't take too long to make its way over here.
Yes. So yeah, I am excited for that. Okay, the last trailer to talk about is actually from a new HBO series. This, I don't know what this is. It's called The Young Pope. It stars Jude Law as Pope Pius XIII, the first American pope in history, whose real name is Lenny. This just looks like a parody of the television renaissance. It looks like a parody of every high-quality HBO show about a man in power and his complex, and there's grey morality, and there's a woman behind him. Because his mum is, well, he's not his mum. The nun who raised him is, I forget who. Someone famous.
Diane Lane.
Diane Lane is the nun who raised him. James Cromwell is his like Pope mentor. It genuinely looks like there's scenes of him like smoking. There's a shot like a close up of his face that looks exactly like Frank from House of Cards, played by Kevin Spacey. It looks amazing, but I don't know if it is a parody because it's billed as a drama on IMDb. But if it is, it's fantastic. It's like it's taking this idea of what good television is now. It's about complex mobster men and applying it to a ludicrous subject, which is the Pope. I don't know what this is. I'm going to be fascinated to find out if it's a straight-up Pope drama, if that's how they've done the satire by playing it straight. Well, what is this? What is the young Pope? I don't know. I'll know when I watch it. And he's a Pope, and he's all, I'm going to change everything. Jude Law is too young to be a Pope. What is this? I don't know. Pope. Yeah, but you can't have young popes. They last too long. Oh my god.
Well, that is true. All the other old cardinals would be quite cranky.
Yeah, my god. What?
Did you also see that James Cornwell's in this?
James Cromwell, yeah. James Cromwell is in everything. James Cromwell's in Deep Space Nine.
He's in American Horror Story. Season 2, he was really good in that. Yeah, in Asylum. It was really good. Yeah, I was like, what is Tim sending me to watch here? And I liked it, but I like religious dramas about this sort of stuff. I'm not religious really, but I like watching the stories about them. Like Jeremy Irons just did the Borgia. That was really cool. So I'm interested to see this, and I think Yeah, I like the name. How he's like Pius the 13th. Will he be Pius? We don't know.
Will he
Probably
be
not.
is 13 unlucky? What is going on?
Oh yes, yes. Is that his real age? Is that his age? Is he 13? Is he that young Pope? Um, yeah. So I'm interested to see it. Well, I'll give it a chance anyway.
Yeah, what could it be?
An American Pope. I don't. That just sounds weird. I'm sure there are American cardinals in the Vatican somewhere.
Yeah, there are, but
Just
there is a.
you just never hear them.
Yeah, but I don't think they're called Lenny. They might be.
There
And
could be Lenny in there,
I don't know. It's
or a Jerry.
Pope
There could
Lenny,
be a Jerry, Pope Jerry.
Pope Jerry. My God, I don't know what this is. Oh my God. Okay. So yes, that's the young Pope. What is it? What could it be? We'll have to wait to find out. Diane Keaton, not Diane Lane.
Ah,
Okay.
well, they're pretty much the same person.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Let's talk about what we've watched.
All right.
I watched Luke Cage. I haven't actually had a chance to get to the television or to the cinema recently, so because I was coming back from Australia. So I've watched some Luke Cage. Luke Cage is good, and I'm going to watch more Luke Cage. I really like it. I really like the characters. I really like this guy whose name I can't remember, who I was going to make an effort to not call.
Got him now.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
what
I'm
is
not
his
even
name?
going to attempt his name.
Mahershala Ali.
That's why
Do
I'm not
I
attempting it.
constantly call him Remy from House of Cards, but I want to learn his actual name. It's Mahershala Ali. Yeah, he's good. I really like him. I like Genghis Khani. Genghis Khani is fantastic. It is, and it does have a fantastic soundtrack, which I believe they're going to be releasing on vinyl and probably in more relevant media as well. So yeah, that's exciting. I think I'm going to get that at some point. Not in vinyl. I don't have a turntable. Yeah, I think I'm going to get the Luke Cage soundtrack. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I've just got to the end of episode 4, I think. So yes, certainly watch it if you have the Netflix.
Yeah, I'm
And that's
on
about
about
it.
episode 8, I think. And yeah, it's
Quite
good.
long. Yeah, like an hour is like that's longer than a typical episode of Jessica Jones was, wasn't it? Or
No, they're about the same. They're
okay,
all in it. They're Devils an hour. Just Jones was an hour.
okay.
So that's all you've seen. It's like a.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, don't worry, I haven't done much better. Mainly because stupid work makes me do overtime every day, so it takes my movie going times away.
Those turds.
That sounds like a song. Yeah, so I watched The Man Who Knew Infinity, which is about, it's a biography about an Indian mathematician, Ramajana. Okay, that's his last name. I don't even think I said his last name right. I'm not even going to try and say his first name. Shh. No, I'm not. And he's got all these ideas about math and stuff, and he sends them off to Cambridge, and Jeremy Irons looks at him and goes, "Get your ass over here. We need you over here to do your proofs and whatnot." So Jeremy Irons mentors Dave Patel, who's playing Ramajan. And yeah, it's really, really interesting about how this guy's career kind of just started. He just knows math. He was never really formally taught. He just knows it. He's special. And he believes in God, and God shows him that. That's what he says. Yeah, it's quite interesting. You should watch it. I liked it for the most part. There wasn't anything like it wasn't a huge phenomenal movie that you go and talk about for years on end, but it was charming in its own right, and also Stephen Fry's in this, and who else? Toby Jones. Toby Jones does a good job. So yes, if you like math, you like Jeremy Irons and Toby Jones and Dave Patel, you're more than likely like this. Go see The Man Who Knew Infinity. And other than that, I've just been watching some TV. I watched episode 3 of American Horror Story Roanoke, which feels like I've been watching forever, even though it's only episode 3. I'm determined to get through the season, but I don't like how they're doing the reenactment stuff. I don't know. It's just maybe it's just so different that I'm not used to it. I don't know. I just don't like the way I keep jumping from one-on-one interviews to the reenactment, back to the one-on-one interviews. It's not your typical American Horror Story. So I have to give credit. I do like Cuba Gooding Jr. in it. I do like him in it. And Kathy Bates has showed up, and she's kicking ass again. So good for her. I'm a little bit sad that her character doesn't get a one-on-one interview.
Oh.
I think that should happen, even though she is like a devil ghost woman.
No.
She should have
interview with a devil ghost woman.
That's right. She should have her side of the story told. I also watch Westworld, which is a new series that you can watch if you're in Australia. It's on Showcase on Foxtel, which is based on, I suppose, the 1973 movie called Westworld, directed by Michael Crichton, one of my favorite author. He also wrote that movie as well. So Westworld is it's a futuristic theme park where they've got all these AIs roaming around, and it's like the Wild West, and you can put yourself in the Wild West and have a good old Wild West time, and with gun shoots and all this, and you can shoot the AIs, but they can't hurt you, stuff like that. And it's a really cool look at science fiction, about the science fiction artificial intelligence thing and how they evolve and whatnot. So it's really good, the first episode. I will be watching even more of it now. Anthony Hopkins is in it. Cyclops is in it, like James Marsden. And Ed Harris. Ed Harris is in it. And it's really, really cool. I'm extremely excited by it. And I was so excited, I went and I bought the 70s movie Westworld on iTunes. I've yet to watch it, but I'm excited to see it. I think you will actually really like this if you can somehow access it over in New Zealand. I don't know what your system is over there.
It's on Neon, and I cancelled my subscription. Yeah. When's Game of Thrones coming in? I don't want
to. Like April.
Okay. I should check if they have Star Wars Episode 7.
I think you should get it. I think this is going to be the new Game of Thrones.
Okay. Oh, do I want that? Why are they remaking Westworld? This was a movie back in the day.
I just said that.
Yeah. Why are they remaking
it? So they can go further with it.
Yeah, such a strange premise to me. No,
it is anyway, to remake an old movie that no one knows.
Well, why Westworld of all the things?
It's pretty good. I reckon it's a pretty good idea in that. I didn't know it was a movie. I started watching this and go, "What the hell is this?" And I did some googling and went, "Oh my god, it was a movie." So yes, go see Westworld. I think you should resubscribe to Neon and get your Westworld subscription and watch it. And also, yes, I also watched the Lego Jurassic World, The Indominus Escape. It's fantastic. It's a Lego short film. It goes for about 15 or 20 minutes. It's hilarious. It's Lego's version of Jurassic World, kinda, with a giant hot dog. And that's why the Indominus escapes, because they've been feeding him hot dogs, and then he sees a man dressed up as a hot dog running around, so he breaks out so he can eat the hot dog.
That makes more sense than Jurassic World.
I think you'll like it more than you like Jurassic World.
I empathise with the thing wanting a hot dog because of that kid on the train.
Oh, yes. And Bryce Dallas Howard actually does her own voice, as well as, not her own voice, she does her character's voice. And who plays Wu? Can't remember
BD
his
Wong.
name. Benny Wong does his voice in it too. So I thought that was fun. I was a little bit disappointed Chris Pratt to come back for it. But oh well. Oh well. That's what I've seen this week. So yeah, definitely check out Westworld. It's very good. So coming out this week in Australian cinemas, we have Inferno, which is the third movie in Ron Howard's Dan Brown book adaptation thing. Yes. Sorry, I'm just looking for something. So Tom Hanks comes back as Langdon, and he's going to solve some mysteries, even though he's got amnesia. So, and Felicity Jones, does that name sound right? Felicity Jones?
Yeah, it is. Oh god, what a waste. Yep.
Yeah. So she's in it too. Yeah, I liked the movies. I liked the books probably more than the movie. I liked Angels and Demons book better than Da Vinci Code, but I like Da Vinci Code movie better than the Angels and Demons movie. So we'll see how I like this one. I haven't read the book. So yeah. Joe Sinkei's Constellation is an Australian film that's coming out. It's very good. It's a crime drama. It's about this uni student who has lots of mental issues. She thinks she's all overweight and she's like tiny. And she's got other problems, like just mental issues about herself, and everyone's talking about her and all this. And she goes off on this weird thing where she wants to commit suicide. So she gets her friend to help her get some heroin, and so she ODs on heroin. But she wants to have a party beforehand, as a going away party, and everyone knows that it's a going away party because she's going to kill herself, except for the boyfriend, who is Joe Sinkei. Yeah, and this is actually based on real stuff. This is what actually happened. This isn't a movie. This isn't just like fiction. It's non-fiction. And so she gets into a bit of a weird mental thing and says, no, he's coming along with me. So she gets some more heroin, and I don't know how much I should say. It actually is it's a good movie. I don't want to give away what happens, even though if you look it up, it's a true thing. So you'll probably figure out what happens, and kind of gives it away in the title. So yeah, she decides that he's going to commit suicide with her, but he doesn't know it yet.
That's going to be an awkward conversation.
Well, they don't actually have the conversation.
This sounds just being cranky.
Yeah, it is. And apparently the first party wasn't good enough, and not enough people showed up. So she wants another party to say goodbye to everyone. It's pretty fun. It's weird getting into the mind of this chick. Yeah. And Shin Gojira, Godzilla Resurgence comes out. I think it's going to be limited. You probably only have the week to see it in very select cinemas. So if it's showing near a cinema near you, go see it. Toho's Godzilla film. It's not the American one. It's the Japanese one. Go and see it. It looks great. And Masterminds comes out. Something that does not look great at all. This is based on a robbery in the US in 1997, where an armed car guard organizes a really big bank heist. It's a crime comedy with Kristen Wiig and Zach Galifianakis and Jason Sudeikis and Kate McKinnon and Owen Wilson and Leslie Jones. And it looks terrible. Oh, don't see it. Don't waste your money. Don't give them your money because they'll just make a sequel somehow, and we don't want that. We don't want this one. Don't see Masterminds. So what's going on over in New Zealand this week, Tim?
So Shin Gojira isn't out until I think the 20th, and it'll have a limited release. We also have Inferno, my Scientology movie from Louis Theroux. The Clan is out, which is a movie that I don't know. I just have seen posters for and kind of think the guy looks like Jeff Goldblum. We've also, yes, we've got Golden Years, Inferno, my Scientology movie. We don't have Masterminds yet. I don't know if that's being released in New Zealand. That's pretty much it for this weekend coming.
You are so lucky over in New Zealand not having Masterminds released.
I don't think it looks that bad.
It looks terrible. I think it's actually been in the can for about a few years before they've released it.
I see, and it just hasn't come out. Okay.
Yeah. I told you something. The studio's looking at it going, we don't want to put that out. Let's hide that.
Oh well.
So what are you interested in seeing anything this week?
This week, not so much. There's still stuff out that I want to see. I need to see Magnificent Seven. And the Girl on the Train is out here. I've discovered, so maybe I'll see that.
Put it back in.
Put what?
Don't worry, it was a bad attempt at humour. The Girl on the Train is out. Put her back in.
Hey, she's not done yet. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
That was a very Dangerfield comedy there. Hey, put her back in yet?
Yes.
She's not done yet.
Rodney. Okay.
Rodney, that's his name. I couldn't think of his
Rodney. Oh. Okay. That's it for this week, isn't it?
That's it.
Okay. All right. If you want to read our things on the main blog, it's at sfdfmoviereviews.tumblr.com. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/sfdfmoviereviews. We're on Twitter at sfdfmoviereview. If you just want to listen to the podcast, you can find it at soundcloud.com/sfdf or wherever good SoundClouds are found. That's also on iTunes. Just search SFDF in the iTunes, and you should find it. And you can email us at inspace.no-one-can-eat-ice-cream@gmail.com. And if you want to find all these things as well as other good stuff, it's all linked down the right side of the main blog, which again is sfdfmoviereviews.tumblr.com. Okay, that's basically it from us, I think, this week. So I guess it's time to say goodbye. So say goodbye, Terry.
Goodbye, Terry. And everyone, positive thoughts that we get some more 8 news or an 8 trailer. I want some 8s to talk about next week.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about 8 next week, whether Terry has anything to talk about or not, I think.
Damn straight.
Okay, we'll just find 8 facts to talk about. How about that? If there's no news, we'll talk about some cool 8 facts.
Well, that sounds good.
Okay.
I like bananas.
Do you? Okay. My grandma likes bananas.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, that's it from us. So say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.